Welcome everybody to our workshop Wednesday. Today we're going to feature on one of the biggest pain points in the industry, which is rates. We're going to have a discussion and hopefully it'll be informative, and we'd love to hear your input and see how we can help resolve this problem. Once again, in case you are new to these sessions, they do get recorded and they will be available on our YouTube and on our Facebook page, GNet Users Private Group. So welcome everybody. We're delighted to have you. Our special guest is someone who really doesn't need introduction, Randy Allen. Been in the business for over 17 years, an expert, and this is one of his biggest passions, rates. He's been on this for a while, so I think he's going to be a wealth of information. I'm going to pass the floor on to Amir to get the session started. So welcome everybody, and let's get going.
Thank you, Yasmin. Welcome, Randy. This has been a few years that we are working with Randy on discussing rates and how we can universally solve it between the operators. So I think some feedback, some stupid questions from me probably on how why things are the way they are, and how we can improve it. Hopefully, Randy, you can help us with that. Welcome to the
Thank you very much for inviting me. I hope my head still fits the screen after that introduction.
Oh yeah, what's background? The background is real or?
Oh no, that was in honor of my return from Italy. I'm trying to look like I'm still there.
Soon you're gonna have the office background behind you.
Yeah.
So, Randy, I mean, one of the issues we're seeing right now is a lot of the business activity and opportunities for companies is going electronic.
Mm-hmm.
And many companies out there are missing out on being part of the growth that's happening on the electronic side because they don't have any rates. Also, from the demand side, we talk to a lot of software companies and techs, and they have an issue with generally getting good rates back also, or getting any rates back electronically. So can we start with some suggestions on what we can do?
Wow, big question. We're an industry that prides ourselves on providing great service and distinguishing ourselves from other transportation options by providing great service. In my mind, part of providing great service is providing information to the client when they want it, when they need it. So whether the client is on our website requesting a trip or on a phone call or an email, thanks to the rideshare companies in great part, they are expecting an immediate answer in terms of availability and what the price will be. And that's part of providing great service. And that is an area, in my view, that the industry is weak on right now and is continuing to make life difficult for ourselves by not changing mindsets and grabbing onto technology that would make it easier for us to share rates with our clients and with each other through affiliate networks. So it is an opportunity, and if we don't solve it, it's going to be damaging to the industry. I made a statement in preparation for this meeting. Companies like Tesla, when they come out with their autonomous vehicle fleet and start competing with us even more than the rideshare companies, I can guarantee you they're going to provide a price to that client in real time, instantaneously, no matter what type of ride they're requesting. So we better get there too, or we're going to continue to erode in market share.
That's a very good point. I know that generally the companies have created very complex rate structure because deal with corporate, some demands from the corporate that certain routes need to be cheaper, better, whatever. So it created a complexity for a lot of the companies on pricing. But do we have to continue that way when I mean it does it have to be that complicated or is it that complicated?
I hate to keep referencing rideshare companies, but I think they have taught us the way. I'm going to make a statement that would make Ken Lucci proud. Your pricing has to be based on your cost. And your costs are a factor of two things, time and mileage. Some of your cost breakdowns are based on time. Things like your driver pay and benefits, you're paying them by the hour. So the amount of time that the trip takes is part of your cost. The purchase price and financing of the vehicle is a time-based factor because your vehicle has a certain life expectancy of usage that you can allocate over time. Other factors, cost factors, are mileage, fuel, repairs, and maintenance. You can estimate based on the mileage that the vehicle is driven, just like you do on your personal car. So you have to start with your cost, decide what your profit margin is that's a target, and then you have to come up with your price based on that. And it's not something that I think is done very often, very frequently in the industry by very many companies. And without that, we're kind of throwing darts at the board and hoping that the bottom line is going to come out the way we want it. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Are the softwares able to provide the basic calculation based on what you're talking about?
I think the reservation systems that I'm most familiar with, the Santa Cruz, the Fast Tracks, the Limo Anywheres, all support some version of mileage and time-based pricing formulas. So they're helping. They're starting to get there. Maybe we're not demanding it as much as we need to be, but I believe that that's the way we need to price in the future going forward. Zone-based pricing, which is traditional approach, is cumbersome, difficult to set up and maintain, and it's not very accurate. Zones are based on zip codes. Zip codes are designed to be optimal for the mail carrier delivering the mail, not as a pricing structure. And you can have a zip code that's 10 miles away from the airport at one end and 20 miles from the airport at the other end of that zip code boundary. So it's not a very accurate technique.
Right.
I see there's a hand raised.
Yes, we have a
Adam.
question.
Adam.
Hi, Adam. Nice to see you here. Please unmute yourself and ask away.
Hey, good morning or afternoon, I guess, or evening, depending on where you're located. It's crazy you had this meeting. Last night I was up to about 2 a.m. working with an Aussie, helping him with his limo anywhere, and he was asking about a more dynamic rate system. I'd remembered Amir had mentioned your company. I totally forgot. So I sent a message. I was like, hey, what's the name of that company? He's like, we're having a meeting on it tomorrow. This is Shurim saying this. And I was like, oh, great. Send me the link. But long story short, he has some very dynamic pricing, just as Amir stated. Some corporate clients get XYZ and the others get ABC as far as rate structures. They are a kilometer-based system or a kilometer-based pricing formula. However, two questions I had. One is, do you guys support kilometer? If so, do you have a booking widget that he could put on his website to be able to actually book the ride? And how would that play out? Would it like email him the information?
From a GNet point of view, no, but we have partners that have used the GNet API to make booking widgets, etc. Right? I think that the kilometers are going to be used internally by your pricing engine, and the output that is expected from the other side is the estimated amount, and it would be great to have the estimated charge line items that could be. That
Oh, is this meeting over Lamu? Was it Lamu rate?
Limu rate of Germany.
Limu
Yes,
rate?
Achim is
Yes.
actually on the
Yeah.
call. Mhm.
yes,
I got you.
actually,
Okay. Sorry, I just want to make
yes.
sure I was understanding it right.
Right. So we're going to get to actually the technologies out there that are available. But one of the things we're basically focusing on is from the business point of view, what's the roadblock to being able to set up your pricing in a very simple way? Because if we're dealing with uh, the TNCs and all the technologies out there that are being able to give prices right away, and that's the competition. Is it possible to have maybe two rates in your system, Randy? I think that's possible, right? Many systems have multiple rate matrices that you can set up, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can have a corporate rate-based system. You could have a retail-based rate system. You know, you can still have all your dynamic pricing that some people have implemented within their reservation system. The challenge is, how do you share that information in a real-time, timely fashion, whether you're talking about to your agent, your own reservation agent, so they can quote quickly, or whether it's through your website, or whether you're connected through a corporate booking tool. More and more corporations are encouraging their employees to book using their internal corporate booking tools or travel agency tools, so they can control the vendors that are selected, they can control the pricing, and control options that their employees are using. So not talking about taking away pricing flexibility, but making it more timely and more accessible. There's still, to a certain extent, some leftover mentality in the industry that my pricing is very proprietary and I need to guard it very closely. Well, that's gone by the wayside in my view. I mean, I've done it myself. I know a lot of other people have. You can go on a competitor's website. You can go on a large affiliate network website and put in a trip and get a price from that affiliate without talking to them, without them sending you anything. You just go on their website and you can determine how much they're charging. So proprietary pricing is not a thing anymore, I don't think.
We
Right.
even hear people doing an Uber lookup, you know?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm just trying to understand the process on it. So like, let's say, because I wanted to go back to him tonight because he couldn't join because I think it's like 3 a.m. there. You know, would he be able to set up rates in limo rate and then
Yeah.
have it feed out to where? Like, because
feeds
the
out
limo
into
anyway doesn't
GNet.
have a booking widget, right? Oh, it feeds out through GNet. So then I would have to tell him, hey, it's
That's
connected to
different-
GNet. You would have to get a developer to build you your custom app that you're wanting.
Right,
And then it could feed rates up
because
that.
Limo Anywhere's widget works with Limo Anywhere's rate
Yes.
system, and then they have the other rate system that add-on group module has built. So there's two different rate engines they have, and I'm
Right.
sure that they probably don't want to entertain any outside, rate engines. But if they do, then we integration can be done. Limo Rate is a central rate engine. It's a black box. Akim can explain also later on what the way it works. It's just a black box. You put your rates in there. It has the interface and everything for you to program your rates. Akim's team actually does get involved if it becomes a complicated rate setup. So his team helps setting up the rates too if it needs to be. Then you can choose on GNet saying, I want limo rate to do my quotation and pricing. Okay. And then everyone who does quotation requests and anything from you is going to get that rate. This is all through GNet, and this is basically between partners or any distributors that work with you. Now they get the pricing. So that's the whole idea.
Okay.
Akim,
No, that makes perfect
his
sense.
hands up. Maybe he can answer better.
Yeah, so I don't want to go so deep in this point because it's a huge thing to explain what also is possible. But for the question, we also offer a booking widget. It's a white label one you can enter to each kind of website, and it's connected to GNet, and you can receive the bookings directly from there to your system. It's also possible, and it's Stripe on other credit card included, integrated, so you can. It's very easy to set up. So it's also possible.
Ah,
Perfect. Adam, that's your
okay.
answer.
And
Okay,
that's
so
no,
you may
that's a
want to
beautiful answer. He's gonna
you
like
may want
that.
to talk to Akim about that. Yeah, that's basically
And
that's
Akeem, is
basically
he on the GNet team or the limo rate team?
I'm from 2S from the Limberate team. We are the
from
developer.
Lemonade.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I just want to make
Okay.
sure if we're getting a third, another third party, and I just make it clear to
No,
him so he can make an
Akim's,
informed decision.
yeah, they're the ones who built Lemonade, so
Oh,
their team
fantastic!
can help. Okay.
Yes, they're
Awesome.
with
So
2S of Germany, and they've been a longtime partner with GNet integrated with us. Achim, perhaps you can use the chat feature to put your contact information so that Adam can reach out to you after the session.
for anybody
Yeah, I
who's
appreciate that.
interested.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you for your questions. All right,
Thank
back
you.
to Amir.
Randy.
Amir touched briefly on a very important point, what I think is very important, and that's the ability of GNet to share rates in an affiliate to affiliate environment. This has existed for years, but not widely taken advantage of like it should be, because it makes life so much easier. When I own my company, I build my rates for my local market inside my fast track system in my case. And with any GNet partner in the network that I chose to trust, they could, through GNet, access my rates and pull my rates for a local transfer or local job directly out of my system without calling me, without emailing me, without me having to share a rate sheet. It's real time, immediate, and if I updated my rates yesterday inside my reservation system, they would get the most current rate that I had defined in my reservation system. So it's wonderful technology that's been around for years. It just needs momentum to get going and simplify our life a great deal.
Thank you for that.
That feature that we have on the GNet portal actually was initiated by Randy, which is it's a screen that you can enter, you pick up, you drop off the vehicle card quickly, pick the partner that has given you permission out of the drop-down list, and click the button, and within a couple of seconds, you get back the rate that they, if you had called your partner, they probably would give you the same number. Okay, so that's how accurate it is. It's a perfect way to cut time, as Randy says. Also, it's a good way for you to self-test. You can actually partner up with yourself on the GNet portal and run quotations against yourself to make sure your pricing is right. Whether you have programmed your system for quotations through Limo Rate, or you've done it through Fast Track, or you've done it through Limo Anywhere, GNet knows where to go get the quotation from. Yasmin, you have a question?
Yes, I just wanted to say if anyone on this call is a GNet member, and if they need some assistance or don't understand where this feature is located, always feel free to reach out to us. You can shoot an email to support@grdd.net and say, I'd like to learn more about the quote feature on GNet. I need some assistance. Put your name, your phone number, best time to reach you, and our support team will reach out and guide you through that process, because it's definitely something that you'll benefit from. Thank you.
Whether you're farming out a lot of trips or receiving a lot of farm-in trips from other affiliates, your staff is spending a lot of time answering pricing questions that this can eliminate.
Right. Now, availability is another problem, which is not, is part of, part of the current issue. Someday we will have solved the rate and everything else, and we're running around talking availability. How do we get that better? But right now, for the pricing perspective, we're looking at sedans, SUVs, and possibly vans, where we would consider them as more simple than buses etc., and more customized solutions, because that probably will take some human touch to get the price more accurate, I would say, at this point. But would you think, Randy, that sedans, SUVs, and passenger vans are possible and low-hanging fruit for this effort? So,
Yes, I agree.
and that's where the TNCs are actually basically hanging out. That's the area they're hanging out at, which is this sedans, SUVs, and possibly vans. What we're thinking is, if everyone has their pricing accurately enough that they're happy with the number that that estimate came out with, through GNet, you won't have more than 10 seconds of wait before you have a price for your customer. I mean, that's basically the promise we have from the technology point of view. But can we have those rates is the question.
Yeah.
And what blocking it? I mean, you just mentioned something important. Some people are very protective about their rates and they don't even want to share it. That's fine. We hear though more about people who say, I cannot program my rates into my system. It doesn't work. The way we do it versus the way the system does it, we hear this a lot, but we're not sure exactly if that's a true statement. I mean, again,
If that's the case, you either should be looking at a new reservation system or possibly a third-party rate engine, like has already been mentioned on the call. Your reservation system should be able to support the pricing however you want to structure it.
okay, that's really good to know, because do we have any, I mean, uh, road, there are certain areas, maybe New York City, maybe parts of London, that get complicated because of their congestion zones and etc. But outside of that, Paul's got an input on that. Paul, is that true that it gets more complicated?
That is so true. That was, by the way, that was great stuff by Randy. Everything he's saying is pretty much spot on, especially when he mentioned autonomous vehicles, the ride share, as much as I hate that term, and I advocate against it and fight so hard against them here in my market locally. That's the reality of it. Certain markets are going to get congestion tax introduced to them over the next couple of years. Certain markets are going to have toll booth cameras set up at certain intersections, certain halfway points on major interstates, that the toll is going to get deducted automatically now. How do you meaning as an owner, as a person who's responsible for this piece of the operation within your company, how do you adapt your system, your affiliates, and then your clients? Because you have to separate all three. Even though your affiliate, of course, is your client, here, I can only speak for myself. We have different tiers of pricing for our affiliates and for our clientele. And we have several price books factored in where you just punch it into the system. If they have an account, it goes by this price book, time, distance, whatever the factors in, and the congestion is the real hard part. Not so much the fee, but I'll give you a great example. September is one of the busiest months in New York City. We have US Open, we have Fashion Week, we have UN Week. Your normal local that would take 25 minutes is going to take an hour and a half. However, the price needs to change accordingly. It's not me trying to nickel and dime people. It's me assessing the rate based on what the operational cost behind it is with the time and distance, because an operational cost, it factors into the time and distance at the end of the day. So that's the biggest challenge for us, especially with the rideshare apps. Just like Randy said, it's instantaneous. Literally instantaneous. There's no lag, there's no drag. And sometimes, I hate to say it, I thank Uber for making all of their information public, because it helps me assess what I need to do to really not so much compete with them, but to strive to provide a much better service line than they do, because that's what people look for. I really hate to tell you, nobody cares about your cars. Nobody cares about you have new Escalades. However, they care about the chauffeur's attitude, their appearance, how they speak to you, how
Right.
they tend to, and children, that's another thing. How attentive are they? You know, so a lot of factors go into it, you know. And Randy, man, you are so spot on. I'm literally sitting here and I'm taking notes on a lot of things you're saying. So thank you for all your
Well,
input.
2 points. I think your example illustrates that the days of sending an affiliate a rate sheet once a year are dead. You can't do that anymore, which is why you need to replace it with them being able to access your most current rates for that date and time that they're requesting that trip electronically in real time. You got to do that. Now, in terms of like ancillary fees, like you're mentioning, congestion fees, I think there's a tolerance built into most of our clients, whether we're talking about affiliates or direct corporate or retail clients. Things like parking and tolls and maybe congestion taxes. If you get the basic pricing accurate, they're okay with some of those fees that are added after the fact if they're not 50% of what you originally quoted. If they add 10%, I think most times they're tolerant of that and they understand it. You can't always predict what tolls are going to be incurred in a trip or things like that. Those were the two points I wanted to make in response.
Just even on an Uber app, the estimated price and the finished price are different.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't think anybody expects. And another thing that I heard, Paul, maybe you can confirm that Uber charges more than transportation companies in New York when they get hailed. Uber Black, is that true?
That is spot on accurate. There's other things built into, and I can only speak to, again, my market and the knowledge that I have. Uber now also has an algorithm built in that, hey, if you're in the city and your phone is at 20-30%, your rate is going to increase by 30%. Because they know you are not going to let your phone die standing on Wall Street, because they're in their mind.
Wow.
Hey, Randy, you were laughing, but this is the God's honest truth.
No,
God's
I believe
honest
you.
truth.
I believe you.
And they are banking on you're going to go and spend that extra 30% to make sure you can charge your phone. And anybody on Wall Street will tell you, we don't care about the 30%. That phone staying on is worth much more than us paying 30%. And that's pretty much sometimes, again, not what we have to compete with, but what we have to kind of transition our service line towards, which that honestly, like, we don't charge early AM fees. If there's snow, you know, we have SUVs. Yes, we will tack on an extra maybe fuel surcharge, but we're not going to go crazy like I know Uber does, especially here when it rains. Automatically, the prices jump 20%. And I'm like, Jesus, imagine me charging my clients as soon as literally I see clouds in the air, as if I have a meteorologist here on staff, you know, tracking the weather every day so I can readjust my rates.
Yeah.
However, it does help when they show me the full breakdown of it.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the psychology of the passenger. Okay, they're willing to pay more.
Yep.
Okay, for a car that is not as guaranteed as if they call Legends, right? So why are they paying more? Because they have this instant update gratification. I have a price and I have somebody looking into picking me up, right? I mean, basically.
It's a mind of convenience is the term I like to use. You have peace of mind of convenience. I just went on an app and within 30 seconds, I know who's picking me up. I got their license plate number, their make, model, vehicle number. That's it. I can go back to my text message, my phone call. I'm going to get an alert as soon as the car is here, all of that good stuff. Pretty much me using this service did not interrupt my life at all. And that's really what it comes down to.
Yep.
Right.
People don't want to be interrupted. People want convenient things. Even look at yourself, even when you go shopping. Convenience. You don't want to
So
wait
as
in
an
line.
industry, no, we get it. We totally, as an industry, who is going to like, okay. So if you have your prices set, I mean, one of the things we've talked about with Randy is if prices were already comfortably set to a point where everybody would feel good about if they got this ride and they could charge this much, they're happy with it. Okay. So if the calc engine is working that well, then the promise that we had made from beginning is through a common network like GNet, you should be able to respond to near demand, even at some point on demand. If you have a client who says, I need a ride, it's either your car or your partner's car. You're gonna have the technology and ability to give a price and summon the car for them, whether it's your car or your partner car, because you all network together. Okay, so that was the whole idea. But what's holding everything up is price right now. So, go ahead, Paul. You're mute.
Um, just on exactly what you're speaking about, Amir, I don't think at this point, in terms of now creating just a more seamless, more convenient platform, and this is just speaking for our clients, not like our affiliates, you know, that's very, very tough also, because you have to factor in that, there's a lot of variables that go into when you release certain things to the public, because then you open the door where if affiliates see it too, they'll be like, hey, you're charging, you're charging your client $80, but you're charging me 120 even with a discount. What's going on here? So it can work in so many ways, and I don't encourage anybody to do that either, because that's just not right. I'm sorry, that's just me speaking as just a business industry professional. Like, hey, what I charge my retail, I charge my affiliates the same exact thing, except my affiliates get a 10% discount. Why? Because they're entrusting me with their client. That's the thank you, I give to them by lowering the price, so to speak.
And your
Yeah.
system automatically does that when an affiliate checks price with you. It's applied already automatically, or you do it manually.
Nope, it's automatically. Every affiliate has a internal account at Legends, but even if affiliate calls that, let's say, doesn't have an account, we have pretty much, it's called I call it a dummy account, just for any representative here to pull up an affiliate generated account where the 10% discount is accounted for, the processing fee is accounted for, the gratuity is built in, all of the fees that they would incur. If the ride doesn't change, that's the exact total you'll see,
I bet I know the answer.
Let's
But
ask Randy. I
how
want to
many
hear
people?
Randy's answer.
No, before that, how many people do quotations like the one that we're doing through GNet with you?
with me, zero. But
That's
that's
what I thought.
not, Amir, that's not to say that people aren't doing it. That's a fault of my own that I take full responsibility and full accountability for. I didn't set it up properly, Amir, and that's not something that GNet is at fault for. That's just totally on me that I didn't set it up right, and I haven't devoted the proper time to actually get it going. As Randy was mentioning at the beginning of this call, where, hey, any affiliate can go onto his GNet and get a price, which is the end result of what I would like it to look like on my end. And I think any affiliate would want that for themselves, where, hey, it's peace of mind and convenience. And creating an app also for the public to use to really compete with Uber. I wanted to mention, I think he's on his call too, Drew Demas has an app called Transpo that and that's so huge. That's so huge. I recommend anybody to really kind of do their research on that app, kind of pre-endorsement for Drew there.
There is two of those apps. There's two of them.
Incredible. Yeah, it's
Right.
incredible if those can be integrated, because that in the back end will allow your client to get that instantaneous. Because let's be realistic right now. I can only speak to myself. It would take me Total time, probably 7 minutes to actually place the reservation, get the driver assigned, send the confirmation, and give the client the peace of mind of convenience. You know, Uber,
Thank
it's
you.
30,
That's a good number.
it's 30 seconds. And that's just me
Thank you.
being honest, transparent, not trying to
Right.
sugarcoat it, you know?
Right. Randy, you were going to say something about what Paul was saying.
I tell you the truth, I've lost track since we continued the conversation of
Oh,
what
sorry.
the point was.
He was just saying that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's actually a good point.
Yeah.
That, you know, we basically, from the perspective, Randy, I mean, we, you know, from the advice to the operators that are on here, you know, it would be good to hear some input from you on how do we get started with, I mean, there are some operators who have their rates set up, you know, Paul's got it all lined up, it's all good on his side. He just has to link it up to GNet and allow his partners to do quotations with him. But there are some companies out here who have nothing right now. And we have, you know, I don't want to make a thing, but there's some companies out there that have nothing. And how do they get started?
Well, as I mentioned off the top, I mean, you have to start with your cost. I mean, sharing your rates quickly doesn't do you any good if those rates aren't accurate and provide a profit for you. So the baseline is understanding your cost, setting your pricing to achieve the profit margin that you want, then work on the technology about how you make that pricing communicated to your reservation agents in a timely way, to your clients, to your affiliates. It's got to start with setting your pricing up correctly, making sure you're using a reservation software that supports the structure of how you want to do the pricing. All of them support zone-based pricing and hourly. Most of them are starting to support mileage and or time-based formulas, which I believe is the right direction to go going forward. And you go from there. And if you're doing a lot of affiliate work, then it's a matter of investing the time to make it efficient. Sometimes it's difficult because you might have affiliates that send you just a handful of jobs in a year. But you know, you start with the ones that are sending you the most volume, and you try to optimize how you interface with them, how you work with them, whether sending it to them or receiving it from your high volume affiliate partners. You chip away at it until you reduce the problem. You know, even the large affiliate network companies are realizing the traditional way of building pricing sheets for 430 cities worldwide is an approach that just does, it's not manageable anymore. So I'm aware of at least one large affiliate network company that is converting almost all their markets to formula-based mileage and time-based. And they're living with the fact that even if it's not 100% accurate, if it's producing a profit on the majority of trips, and maybe they're losing a little bit on some trips because it's not as accurate as necessary, that's okay as long as they're making money overall and not having the cost of maintaining transfer rates in 430 cities.
Right.
So they're kind of indicating the scale of the problem. And if you're a small or medium-sized company and you're trying to grow nationally or regionally or worldwide, if they can't maintain the problem the traditional way, then certainly the medium and smaller companies can't either.
The only way to do it is everyone keeps their own rates for their own local area and create a network where your systems can query each other, which you know, that's basically one of the functions of GNet. So you can do that at least, right? That's the whole goal, so that you don't have to have 400 markets.
Yes.
I think Paul maybe has a question for Randy. Go ahead, Paul. Paul disappeared.
you're mute.
Oh, there. Unmute, Paul.
Sorry, guys. Randy, how do you feel about sharing your affiliate your rates with, let's say, affiliates outside of your market? Meaning, are you ever hesitant about that? Where, let's say, I'm in New York City, I reach out to you, I say, hey, Randy, can I have some rates? These are the type of rates I'm looking for. Would you be inclined to share them, or would you be very hesitant? Would you have any follow-up questions?
I was never hesitant for the reasons I mentioned before. You know, most of us now have a website portal where you can request a price. So if my affiliate wants to check the rates I'm giving them and whether they're fair or not, they just log on, they get on my website, they put in the same trip, and they see what price I'm quoting for retail. It's no longer a mystery, and it's accessible. I have done that, and many others have done that with the large affiliate networks too. So if you wanted to know what, say, Boston Coach is charging in New York City, you just go on their website. You put in a trip.
Reason why I wanted to ask you that is because I know Amir brought up a point earlier, and I just wanted to tell anybody who's not sure of maybe how to go about structuring rates. It's as easy as going on ChatGPT. What are the rates for premium luxury black car service in, I don't know, Fort Lauderdale, Florida? Sorry, Colin, I'm not trying to butt into your territory, but you know, literally, and it will pull up by mileage, per mile, per, like, what the average per gallon cost is for a sedan, for an SUV, and that could really help you assert a starting point, at least, of, you know, and then seek like a secret shopper type scenario where, hey, you can reach out to your affiliates as a client. I mean, but then again, I feel, listen, prices are no secret. It should be, you know, it should be streamlined across the board, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be sending you the business. I don't have a setup in your market. I'm going to lean on you for help. So you're just making my life easier. I'm going to say, hey, thank you for helping me out. Let me help you out by giving you business, so on and so forth.
And it's important to point out, if you do decide to use the GNet capability to share your rates with other affiliates, you have 100% complete control over it. You can turn on only the affiliates you trust and want to share the rates with. And it's not like anybody on GNet can access your rates without you saying it's okay.
Right.
Thank you, Randy. I think Paula from Chicago Coachworks raised her hand for a quick second and it disappeared. So Paula, are you here? And did you have a question?
I see her. She's
Paula,
on mute.
are you on mute? Can you unmute and ask your question? Nice to have you here.
Oh, she.
Okay, maybe she doesn't, but I think Pearl has a question here. Pearl Palco. If you have rates available upon request on your online quoting platform like Limo Anywhere has, then prospects can retrieve your rate without calling. And if they like your rate, they can turn that into a booking. And I didn't have to do a thing but set it up. Great. Next, I will set up my rates on the GNet platform as well. Thank you for that, Pearl. Does anyone have a comment on that?
Yes,
Oh,
I do.
and
I do.
you do? Okay, and sorry, just to finish up real quickly, Paula, Chicago Coachworks, she hit the hand in error. See, we notice everything, Paula. You don't get away with accidental raising hands.
Creepy. That's all I can say.
The rates are in your Limo Anywhere system already. We don't keep the rates or calculate rates for you. Everyone's system has rates in it. We go in there, we give a price quotation request, it comes back with a price, we give it to your partner, and your system recognizes your partner because of the account number you've assigned them. So it's all straight through. If you decide that you are using a reservation system that doesn't have the calculation that you want, or it doesn't even do quotations, then the option you have is Limo Rate, which would be the black box in the middle. And Achim already put his hands up because he wants to say hi.
I'm sorry about the noise. Yeah, for Jesse. Hold on a second.
Yeah, sorry. Then I think it's a good point to start to explain some little things you requested. You discussed some interesting points we also think about and we also worked on. So there are some key points I just want to repeat and to say, okay, there is a solution. So first thing Andy told us is every market has its own different things around where the rate is different, because there could be tolls or whatever. All the things are you can configure all these types internal of our rate engine. You can enter city tolls, for special regions. You don't have to to enter in some postcodes. You can select regions by geofencing, and then we got the right rate for this if needed. You can say this is the start of the city, and the end. If you pass this or you cross this, then you have to pay this special rate. Everything is possible. The other thing is, I think this is another important information is how to share your rates. What we did is we have focused on 3 points. The first point is we have sales rates for your customers there, because you can connect the system to any other system using API or GNet. Maybe we are very deep integrated to GNet. The team from GNet, I have to say thank you that we can realize this, because it's very easy to use and we got a lot of information over this channel. Yeah, so it's very easy to set up. So you are connected to get your sales rates for your customers. You also can handle your purchase rates, your own purchase rates. So you can set up the system like Randy explained it. What's very important to say: come from your coast, describe your coast. You have to think about your coast, and it's the only way that you got a good margin at the end for every ride. Yeah. So you also can set up all the costs in your system you got for a special ride, and then you set up your margin, and the sales rate is the cost plus your margins. That's very simple to set up. That's possible. The next thing is what I don't know his name, but who the guy from Paul? Is it right? Yeah,
Paul from Legends.
Yeah. It's also possible to set up season rates, or you can create blackouts. We call it blackouts if you have a special, maybe you have a Super Bowl in New York City and you can't sell this because you have special rates for this only requesting rates. You can set it up to say no rates at this time. Everything you can configure a lot of different things. Yeah, there is very helpful. And the last important point is, before maybe I can say some other little features which would help everybody, is the last point is we focused on is to create these networks. We can share the same network like GNet. We also so deep integrated that we can read from GNet who is in your network, who is possible to reach your rates. You didn't have to set it up. Read it from GNet, and then we can see who do you want to share your rates? So where are your partners? And the idea is, this is the example with 400 different destinations worldwide. You can find a partner in each of these destinations. They set up their rate sheets, and they share it with you. We have a shared table. It is called My Share. You can set up different discounts better discounts on this, and then you can share the same rate with different companies in different sizes or different discounts. And then who's using this? The benefit is first, if you have a trip in Germany and you need the rate directly, not in 6 hours or in 8 hours when they wake up and can you answer your email, you type in the job, maybe using GNet, and you got the rate back directly with a accurate rate for this destination. And it's not in table-based base or whatever. It's accurate rate, including all surcharge. Everything is set up in the system, because people who set up this rate table, they know their rate and know their location. Yeah, because they know everything about their location. They know everything about their, I don't know, holidays and whatever specials happen to a special time, whatever. They set it up there, and they're the experts for their location, and you are the expert for your location. So you set up your rates, you concentrate on this, and then you can share your rates with all your suppliers, all your affiliates, whoever, and to share it with them. And an interesting thing is, you send us one request, and you got all the rates back in the area which are shared with you. So You didn't have to take care about who to select. You got the rates back, and you see it side by side. Who is the operator? Who's my primary? Who got special? Whatever. That's possible. Then it's very easy to share with your company.
Question. So
Yeah.
on your product, you can set up pricing for yourself if you have multiple cities or multiple markets that you service. So you set up the pricing yourself too, right? You can do that too.
Yeah, that's possible. You can do is you can create a kind of tree. You can say this is my base rate table, and I have 100 different rate tables, and then I put them and drag and drop them and into this table and say, okay, this customer has Paris and Frankfurt and whatever and in Spain, and another one gets other rates maybe if they need this, and you can set up markups, or you can create different rates there.
Good.
You can set up hundreds of different rate tables in the system. That's very easy.
Got it. Got it. Thanks.
And-
Reza, did you put your hand up on? You have a
Yes,
question, Reza?
yes. I have a question for Randy, actually.
Okay.
The question is related to not the ride rates, more as service rates or ancillary rates. If someone is requesting for a bodyguard or a special needs or handicaps, or I want to add wheelchair or this sort of the services, do you think we have or softwares today, do we be able to add these kind of rates for services? Let's say, for example, a security service or bodyguard service, something like that.
In my experience, most of the reservation systems have some type of generic capability of adding a rate just using a free text description of what that service or rate may be based on. Most of them provide that kind of flexibility from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm. But we cannot, let's say, electronically require to inquiry. I need to, let's say, airport transfer with bodyguard, for example, right? So, or I need to add a wheelchair or booster seat, or
Like through a GNet connection, requesting a trip.
Is that something useful?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, you can, when you start talking globally, there are a lot of different requests. You have some markets where air conditioning is not standard in Asia, for example. If you want an air conditioned car, you need to be able to request that. And there's other, maybe a particular color of car, particular brand, car seat, or it's lots of different features. But today, the most generalized way to do that is you put special notes into the request.
Got it. Got it.
Oh.
All right. It looks like we're down to our last 3 minutes. So I think Paul has another question, but I wanted to open the floor to any other participant in this session. If you have any questions for Randy, this is a good time. Or if you have any questions in general, this is a good time to raise your hand. No? Okay, no questions. Randy, I can hand the floor back to you to finish up the session with any additional information you wanted to share, or any comments or any call to action or anything like that.
Well, I just want to say thank you for inviting me to participate. This has been a subject that was mentioned before that's been top of mind for me for quite a while, since I joined the industry 17 years ago. And, as an industry, we just need to be efficient and as easy as possible to deal with each other and with our clients, whether we're talking about vehicle types or sharing rates. We've done a great job, I think, of being able to share information like trip status and driver information. Most of the systems now, if you accept a reservation electronically from an affiliate, you're sending that information electronically as well through GNet or through any other method. But there's still some gaps in being efficient enough to really maximize our markets.
That's right. So I'm just thinking, if everyone does their part, I know that the short-term pain is worth the long-term gain, is to help resolve this problem by taking the time to put in your rates, and you know, it all adds up, and the cumulative information that gets out there will help generate more accurate rates in the long term. Yes.
And don't be shy about demanding the functionality that you need from your software vendors. Make them
Yes.
provide what you need.
Yes.
You're the client, right?
Yes.
Yes. And we're the
Okay.
software company, so we have to listen to you guys.
We
and
listen to you.
follow.
Yes.
Yes.
We are listening. We're listening. We're here to help resolve these problems. Well, all right. I think we're out of time. I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for being here. This was a fantastic session. We cannot thank you enough, Randy. You made this happen, even though you're just coming off a holiday and whatnot. But your information, your brain, your knowledge, and your passion for this particular topic is paramount. So thank you, Randy. Thank you, everyone,
Thank
for
you.
joining us. You can find this recorded session on our YouTube channel, GNet Powered by Grid. Please subscribe, and we hope to see you at our next session. So thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.